Sometimes people try to destroy you, precisely because they recognize your power, not because they don't see it, but because they see it and they don't want it to exist. When we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move against domination, against oppression. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate ourselves and others. To be truly visionary, we have to root our imagination in our concrete reality while simultaneously imagining possibilities beyond that reality. Shaming is one of the deepest tools of imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy because shame produces trauma and trauma often produces paralysis. One of the most vital ways we sustain ourselves is by building communities of resistance, places where we know we are not alone. I celebrate teaching that enables transgressions, a movement against and beyond boundaries. It is that movement which makes education the practice of freedom. The rage of the oppressed is never the same as the rage of the privileged. All of us in the academy and in the culture as a whole are called to renew our minds if we are to transform educational institutions and society so that the way we live, teach, and work can reflect our joy in cultural diversity, our passion for justice, and our love of freedom. As long as women are using class or race power to dominate other women, feminist sisterhood cannot be fully realized. If we want a beloved community, we must stand for justice. To build community requires vigilant awareness of the work we must continually do to undermine all the socialization that leads us to behave in ways that perpetuate domination. For me, forgiveness and compassion are always linked. How do we hold people accountable for wrongdoing and yet at the same time remain in touch with their humanity enough to believe in their capacity to be transformed? Because we have learned to believe negativity is more realistic, it appears more real than any positive voice. The wounded child inside many females is a girl who was taught from early childhood on that she must become something other than herself, deny her true feelings, in order to attract and please others. You are not going to destroy this imperialist white supremacist capitalist patriarchy by creating your own version of it. To begin by always thinking of love as an action rather than a feeling is one way in which anyone using the word in this manner automatically assumes accountability and responsibility. Without justice there can be no love. Knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. Do not expect to receive the love from someone else you do not give yourself. If we want a beloved community, we must stand for justice, have recognition for difference without attaching difference to privilege. One of the things that we must do as teachers is twirl around and find out what works with the situation that we're in. Our models might not work. And that twirling, changing, is part of the empowerment. Self-love is the foundation of our loving practice. Without it our other efforts to love fail. Giving ourselves love, we provide our inner being with the opportunity to have the unconditional love we may have always longed to receive from someone else. Living simply makes loving simple. The true teacher is within us. A good teacher is someone who can help you to go back and touch the true teacher within because you already have the insight within you. Our freedom is sweet. It will be sweeter when we are all free. I think our culture doesn't recognize passion because real passion has the power to disrupt boundaries. A generous heart is always open, always ready to receive our going and coming. In the midst of such love we need never fear abandonment. This is the most precious gift true love offers, the experience of knowing we always belong. Commitment to truth-telling lays the groundwork for the openness and honesty that is the heartbeat of love. Most of us did not learn when we were young that our capacity to be self-loving would be shaped by the work we do and whether that work enhances our well-being. Gloria Jean Watkins, September 25, 1952 to December 15, 2021, better known by her pen name Bell Hooks, to a working-class African-American family, in Hopkinsville, a small, segregated town in Kentucky. Watkins was one of 6 children born to Rosa Bell Watkins Oldham and Theodis Watkins. Her father worked as a janitor and her mother worked as a maid in the homes of white families. In her memoir Bone Black, Memories of Girlhood 1996, Watkins would write of her struggle to create self and identity, while growing up in a rich magical world of Southern black culture that was sometimes paradisiacal and at other times terrifying. In 1983, after several years of teaching and writing, Hooks completed her doctorate in English at the University of California, Santa Cruz, with a dissertation on author Toni Morrison entitled, Keeping a Hold on Life, Reading Toni Morrison's Fiction. Bell Hooks was an American author, theorist, educator, and social critic who was a distinguished professor in residence at Berea College. She is best known for her writings on race, feminism, and class. The focus of Hooks' writing was to explore the intersectionality of race, capitalism, and gender, and what she described as their ability to produce and perpetuate systems of oppression and class domination. She published around 40 books, including works that ranged from essays, poetry, and children's books. She published numerous scholarly articles, appeared in documentary films, and participated in public lectures. Her work addressed love, race, class, gender, art, history, sexuality, mass media, and feminism. She began her academic career in 1976 teaching English and ethnic studies at the University of Southern California. She later taught at several institutions including Stanford University, Yale University, and the City College of New York, before joining Berea College in Berea, Kentucky, in 2004. In 2014, Hooks also founded the Bell Hooks Institute at Berea College. Her pen name was borrowed from her maternal great-grandmother, Belle Blair Hooks. On December 15, 2021, Bell Hooks died from kidney failure at her home in Berea, Kentucky, aged 69.